Liverpool are soon back in action again as they will take on Brentford this weekend away from home. In today's video, we'll discuss all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. That includes the shock Premier League revelation that will impact Liverpool going forward. There is so much to cover in today's video. And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. The search is currently underway for Liverpool's next sporting director, but while there could be a candidate at a Premier League rival, an appointment is extremely unlikely. With Jorge Schmadtke having departed the club at the end of January, a big decision awaits over the next long-term sporting director at Anfield. Schmadtke has been considered a short-term fix, following the surprise exits of Michael Edwards and Julian Ward in quick succession, and his input proved invaluable. But with the new era dawning as Jurgen Klopp and his staff also prepared to depart at the end of the season, finding the right candidate to overcome a major restructure is key. According to journalist Ben Jacobs speaking to Give Me Sport, Newcastle sporting director Dan Ashworth is among those liked by higher-ups at Liverpool. Ashworth, who notably held roles at West Brom, the FA and Brighton, before joining the Saudi takeover at Newcastle, is considered one of the best in this field within English football. Jacobs claims that a move for the 52-year-old is not beyond the realms of possibility, as Liverpool seek to establish their next Edwards. But in reality, a deal for Ashworth is highly unlikely, particularly due to a clause in his contract at St James's Park. The Mail's Matt Hughes reported in December, amid interest from Manchester United, that Ashworth would be required to serve a 12-month notice period if he were to leave Newcastle for another club. Liverpool would need to agree a compensation fee to break that notice period early, which was the case when Newcastle coaxed him from Brighton in 2022. While Ashworth reached an agreement with Newcastle in February of that year, he did not begin work until June, when a sum of around £5 million was paid to release him. The former Norwich youth player was previously kept on gardening leave by Brighton, which would be a standard practice for the position such as a sporting director to avoid any conflict in interest. It stands to the reason that Liverpool would need to pay a significantly more than £5 million to simply appoint Ashworth now, which despite their growing importance in the game, clubs largely appear reluctant to commit for their sporting directors. Whether this situation would impact the club's interest in West Ham's technical director, Tim Steidten, or not is unclear, the German holds a different role. When it comes to Ashworth, however, a move for the man who conducted deals for the likes of Moises Caicedo and Kaoru Mitoma at Brighton may be out of the question. In a shock Premier League revelation, the build-up to this weekend's fixtures was dominated by the news that a new blue card will be introduced as a part of the 10-minute sin bin trials in football. In an attempt to clamp down on abuse towards match officials and cynical fouls, the trial of blue cards will be distributed for dissent and tactical fouls, i.e. fouls that prevent a promising attack. While they'll not be brought in for the next season's Premier League, it's still worth having some fun with this. If we were to trace back to the start of the season, which team would have received the most blue cards? You have to feel for Sheffield United, who prop up the Premier League table with the lowest average share of possession. Therefore, it is unsurprisingly that Chris Wilder's men have the unwanted title of the most yellow cards received from tactical fouls, as they are often chasing shadows and looking to prevent further damage to the scoreline by bringing an opponent down before they can build a threatening attack. Collectively, Chelsea have the biggest issue with controlling their temperament of their players with 15 yellow cards received for dissent this season, more than any other side. Interestingly, no player has received more yellow cards for dissent than forward Nicholas Jackson, who has been unable to hide his frustration during a difficult maiden campaign under Mauricio Pochettino. In other news, Owen Beck grabbed his second assist since heading back out on loan, with the left-back proving why he is so highly rated at both Liverpool and Dundee. Dundee were forced to be patient after Beck, who had been their first-choice left-back through the first half of the season, was recalled to Liverpool in January. But after providing the much-needed cover in the absence of Andy Robertson and Kostas Tsimikas, the Welshman was allowed to return to Scotland at the end of the winter window. Everyone at the club was so excited, manager Tony Doherty reflected on learning that Beck's second loan, the coaches, the players and all of the other staff at the club. The 21-year-old slotted back into his starting role and after an assist on his re-debut, set up another in a late 2-1 win over St Johnstone on Sunday. It came in a game marred by challenge from St Johnstone defender Liam Gordon on Dundee striker Michael Mellon, which forced the substitute off and left Doherty furiously claiming it was almost life-endangering. Matthew Smith opened the scoring for St Johnstone early in the first half, before a Luke McCowan penalty set things up for a tease finale after the break. Beck has already gone close to a winner when his rasping shot fizzed just wide off the post, before he sent in another wonderful ball from deep for Jordan McGee to head home in the 89th minute. It was a perfect delivery from Beck, who has now scored 2 and assisted 4 in 24 appearances on loan at Dundee. Elsewhere over the weekend, there was more frustration for 2 of Liverpool's more high-profile loanees, as Calvin Ramsey was substituted at half-time and Billy Comito left out altogether. Ramsey was one of 2 players hooked at the break as Bolton trailed 1-0 at Northampton, with his side going on to seal a 1-1 draw. Assistant manager Peter Atherton, taking media duties following the dismissal of the manager Ian Evatt, told the Bolton News that Ramsey's withdrawal was just tactical. Meanwhile, according to the Lancashire Telegraph, Comito simply missed out on the matchday squad as Blackburn beat Stoke 3-1. It was contrasting fortunes for 2 of Liverpool's goalkeepers, considered part of Liverpool's first-team plans, with Marcelo Petruga enduring a miserable night for St Partick's Athletic. Starting against Shamrock Rovers in the President's Cup, the Irish equivalent of the Community Shield, Petruga could be blamed for 2 of the goals as St Pat's lost 3-1. For Harvey Davies, however, the weekend brought a big step in the right direction as he returned to Crewe's starting lineup for the first time in almost a month. With Tom Booth, who took Davies' place as first choice due to a downturn in form, out injured, Davies came in and kept a clean sheet in a 1-0 win over Crawley. Davies had replaced Booth at half-time in the previous 0-0 draw at Tranmere, with manager Lee Bell describing it as a 2 clean sheets for him really since his comeback. Another goalkeeper, Jaros, made his debut in the Austrian Bundesliga as Sturm Graz held title rivals Salzburg to a 1-1 draw. It was 2 games in 2 days for Liverpool midfielders Bobby Clark and James McConnell, while Lewis Kumas was their star as under-21s beat Stoke 3-1. After coming off of the bench late on in Saturday's 3-1 victory over Burnley, Clark and McConnell were both part of the starting lineup as Liverpool under-21s hosted Stoke. They were a part of a strong side as Barry Lutis' squad for the second half of the campaign takes shape, with Katie Gordon, Trey Nyoni and Callum Scanlon also among those to start. For Kumas and goalkeeper Fabian Maruskak, it was another chance for minutes after being named in the Premier League squad for the first time a days previous. Liverpool fans, what are your thoughts on the blue cards, and are you for or against the idea? Yes or no? Let me know down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. As always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Poosh.